Hello YouTubers, I've now owned my 2005 Cayenne Turbo for a little over 4 years and 40,000 miles. I often get emails from subscribers inquiring about the reliability of my car and what it has needed in order to keep it on the road. Since I've received so many emails requesting a video like this, I figured now would be a good time to do one. So today, I'm going to tell you everything that has gone wrong with my Cayenne in the 4 years and 40,000 miles that I have owned it. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I'll leave a playlist link to all of my Cayenne repair videos in the description below, so make sure to check them out if you haven't already. There's a lot of useful information in them that will help you save some time and money. I bought my Cayenne Turbo long distance, sight unseen from a Porsche dealer in Texas and wasn't able to personally check it out. These first 6 photos of the car are from the dealer when I had inquired about it. It looks pretty nice, right? Only problem is, after a week of talking with these guys, they never mentioned the sagging headliner. Thankfully, I had a buddy who lived close by, and he was able to inform me about this. I was a little disappointed that the dealer tried to sneak this one past me, but in the end, I was able to negotiate a replacement before I took delivery. So my first official problem was the sagging headliner, and as of today, Porsche wants over $3,000 for a replacement.
Say what?
And that doesn't include labor to install it. Unfortunately, this is a pretty common and costly problem with the Cayenne. A few months after taking delivery, and at 49,000 miles, the hatch struts were getting weak, so I replaced them. Also at this mileage, I had my first major repair. Every time I drove the car, I could smell oil burning. What was happening is, oil was seeping past the valve cover gaskets and dripping onto the exhaust manifold, causing the smell of burning oil. So at 49,000 miles, the car received 2 outer valve cover gaskets, 2 inner valve cover gaskets, 2 camshaft actuator seals, and a Y pipe to throttle body seal. This set me back $135.58 in parts, and the labor was free since I did the work myself. A few months later, and at 49,500 miles, I noticed oil stains in my driveway. Back on the lift she goes. After diagnosing the problem, I determined one of my intercooler pipe seals was leaking. If one of the seals were bad, more than likely the others weren't too far behind, so I replaced them all. In all, I replaced 4 round seals, 4 O-rings, and 1 new retainer clip. This repair set me back $50.17. I didn't even make it 5,000 miles before my next big repair. This time, I was driving to a grocery store, and when I got out of the car, a strong smell of coolant overcame me. Uh-oh, this isn't good. I immediately popped the hood and noticed a small stream of coolant coming from the water pump and leaking down the front side of the engine. Good news is, I was only 10 minutes from home, and the leak was slow enough that I could lift the car back. So back on the lift she goes. Since this was a major repair, I decided to replace everything while I was in there, as I didn't want to do this job again. So at 53,833 miles, the car received a new water pump gasket, left idler pulley, right idler pulley, upper radiator hose, serpentine belt, and new air intake Y pipe. I replaced the air intake Y pipe as a while you're in there type of thing, since these things are known for cracking at the seams, and they're kind of a pain in the butt to replace. All in, this repair set me back $361.68 in parts, and the labor was free since I did the work myself. Well, it wasn't long before she was back on the lift again. This time with a tad over 54,000 miles, the plastic coolant tees had failed and were dumping coolant all over the parking lot. I was only a few miles away from home, so I was able to lift the car back and start tearing into it. Porsche still only offers replacement tees in plastic, and there was no way I was sticking those in my car again. So I had a custom set made out of aluminum. These aluminum tees should last the life of the car. This repair set me back $137.27, and the labor was free since I did the work myself. The car received new coolant lines, new coolant vent pipe, 2 tees made out of aluminum, new thermostat, and new thermostat gasket. Well, at least this time something engine related didn't break, so maybe we're making progress, right? Bad news is, in the middle of a storm, working windshield wipers is kind of a necessity. So at 57,000 miles, the windshield wiper motor failed. Thank God for Rain-X. Since Porsche wants over $600 for a new wiper motor, I opted to install a used one, as I wasn't impressed with the longevity of the original unit. The used wiper motor set me back $75, and the labor was free since I did the work myself. So far, my used wiper motor is still going strong. Woohoo! At 59,000 miles, I noticed the car was missing when the engine was cold. After replacing the spark plugs, the mist was gone, and the car ran much better. It really was a huge improvement. While replacing the spark plugs, I also replaced the upper engine mount since the bushings were bad. This repair set me back $89.63, and the car received 8 new Denso 4504 spark plugs and a new upper engine mount, also known as a torque arm. At 62,351 miles, the mist was back, and this time I had check engine codes to help me diagnose the problem. The codes I were getting were all pointing to cylinder misfires. I knew it couldn't be the spark plugs as I had just replaced them. So I started looking at the coil packs and noticed majority of them were cracking badly. Porsche is on their 20th something revision of these things, so I ordered the latest version that I could and installed them. After installing the new coil packs, the car is running great again. This repair set me back $292.57, and the car received 8 new coil packs, and the labor was free since I did the work myself. At 66,000 miles, I was walking out to my car and noticed my front passenger seat back had fallen. This is another pretty common problem with the Cayennes that can be easily fixed. I was able to fix my seat back with a little JB Weld and Gorilla Glue, and almost 2 years later, it's still holding up well. I think this repair cost me less than $10 in materials. This is the cheapest repair yet. At 68,000 miles, some of the plastic clips that hold on the lower trim had broken. If I didn't repair this soon, I could lose the trim on the road somewhere. This is another common problem with the Cayenne. What I think happens is when people exit the car, they drag their feet along the door sill, which also hits the lower trim. Over time, this puts stress on the clips, causing them to break. This repair set me back $17.79, and the labor was free since I did the work myself. At 76,000 miles, the brake booster faulty message came up when I was leaving for work one day. This is also another common problem with the Cayenne, because the plastic tubing is prone to cracking by the passenger side firewall, causing a vacuum leak. Porsche wanted some ridiculous amount of money for a few sections of plastic tubing, but I elected to fix this myself with some heater hose and hose clamps. This repair cost me less than $10 and is still holding up great today. At 77,000 miles, I was getting really bad inner tire wear from the worn bushings in the lower control arms. I knew this day was coming and was somewhat prepared for what I was going to do, which is to replace everything. So at 77,000 miles, the car received new lower control arms, upper control arms, strut mounts, new sway bar end links, new dust covers and seals for the air springs, new tie rod ends, and new steering rack boots. I pretty much overhauled the whole front suspension to restore the car's handling to like new. It was one of the best upgrades I've made. All of these parts set me back $1,014.33, and the labor was free since I did the work myself. At 80,000 miles, my headlights would only work intermittently. After a little bit of troubleshooting, I had determined the headlight wiring harness was bad and shorting out. As you can see from the video, the insulation from the wiring harness is completely flaked off. This is another one of those common Cayenne problems. This repair set me back $92.22, and the labor was free since I did the work myself. At 87,000 miles, the backlighting to my instrument cluster is no longer working. This problem just started happening, and I have yet to troubleshoot what the cause could be. Hopefully it will be a cheap repair. One can dream, right? Well, so far that's everything that has gone wrong with my Porsche Cayenne Turbo in the 4 years and 40,000 miles of ownership. So you are probably asking, would I buy another one of these with what I know now? Absolutely. I have no plans to sell my car in the foreseeable future, and although I do wish the reliability could have been a bit better, I still love this car dearly. If you are a car guy who can turn a few wrenches, then a Porsche Cayenne Turbo is one of the best bargains on the used car market right now. Lots of value for money, considering a good first gen can be had for 10% of its original MSRP.